Do you have a Capital One credit card? Why don't you use that Capital One credit card to cover the remaining amount debt?
Let's go over the maximum amount of debt I have after filing bankruptcy 6 years ago.
All right, we're starting it off with a car salesman that has a very creative solution for coming up with the down payment. And it only gets more interesting from there.
Got you approved. And the Kia K5, like you wanted. They are wanting you to cover textile license. What does that come out to? It comes out to around $1,500. Would you be able to do that today?
Not today.
How close can you get to the $1,500?
Right now I only have 500.
And when's the next time you get paid?
In 2 weeks.
Do you have a Capital One credit card? Why don't you use that Capital One credit card to cover the remaining amount debt?
Because I don't use my credit card like that.
Instead of paying us in 2 weeks, you pay them in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What's the point of having it if you don't use it?
If you can't even afford to cover the taxes on the car, you can't afford the car. Now, the salesman suggesting she cover it with her credit card is one of the worst things I've seen from a dealer. With her putting it on the card and only having $500 down, that balance probably wouldn't get paid off anytime soon, which means it's just going to sit there collecting interest until it finally does.
$1,000 today?
500.
Why are you stuck on 500?
Because
Let me ask you this: how much was your payment on the Hyundai?
620.
And what were you hoping your payment to be on this?
Probably the same or a little more.
All right. Me and the finance manager were able to pull some strings for you. We were able to talk to the owner. It was $500 down today. $500 down in another week or two. We're able to get that done for you. Payments $475. It's a great payment, right? Per month. Yes. That's amazing payment. However, we need that 500 plus insurance today.
Full coverage, of course.
For someone that can only come up with $500, a $475 car payment is extremely high. But this is the kind of deal that somehow gets pushed through all the time. Bad credit, repos, no money. It doesn't matter if you can afford it. Everyone gets approved.
Looks like you have 5 months left on your lease.
Yeah.
What kind of car do you have?
Subaru WRX 2022.
Do you know what your payoff is?
Let me check. I've been getting a lot of letters that they can take my lease early and option to lease again. And also my credit's looking bad right now because I consolidated my debt.
What's your score?
580, I think.
How have you been paying your auto?
I'm on time with my car loans and mortgage.
I don't think we're completely without options.
So a low credit score with a consolidation loan to take care of some debt. And now looking at taking on more. One of the negative things about consolidation loans from my experience is that it can be very easy to jump back into debt. You usually free up a bit of money with them. And because you're used to overspending, you end up taking on more debt and can wind up in an even worse position after.
I think we might have a shot with some brands depending on how your auto history was. Have you seen what kind of cars you like?
I just want like a small car, like a Honda Civic type.
Okay. I would recommend
You know.
going with a Nissan Rogue.
It's also not over 500. I don't want to pay a lot
So
more.
Nissan, they have the same rate from tier 1 to tier 5. In your case, you might be a tier 6 or 7, but there's a chance to get you bumped to a 5, which would allow you to take advantage of the same payment as if you had a 750 credit score.
Manufacturers will sometimes offer lower interest rates through their financing to help move cars off the lot. It can sound like a great deal for the customer, but the real goal isn't to save people money. It's to make the payments look more affordable, so more people will go through with the purchase, even if they can't afford it.
All right. So it looks like we have some good news today. And it has been a challenging day. I'm telling you, we don't often get many customers with challenged credit. Usually it's strong all day long, but today was the day. We've had multiple bankruptcies. We've had people with challenged credit. But I think the success story of the day comes right at the finish of the day. Here we are finishing out the day, and you sold the car to somebody who has a 498 credit score.
Congratulations to her.
A 498 credit score and taking on more debt is anything but a success. But somehow this is something people celebrate. I see videos all the time of people so happy, even surprised they got approved. But the lender is the one who should be celebrating, because they just locked in years of payments from someone who was already struggling financially.
And we got it approved. Now, as I'm learning more about this is difficult, the customer's going to be happy, but the rates, I'm not sure how happy they're going to be, because the rate's basically 23%. And I struggle with that. But in this case, I don't know what else they can do. They need a car. And they're looking at a used car with us, the GLC 300. It's a 2021 that we're selling at $28,000.
They need a car maybe, but do they need a $28,000 Mercedes at 23% interest? Nobody does. A credit score that low usually means somebody is already struggling financially. And a car like that isn't cheap to own. Maintenance, repairs, parts. None of it is inexpensive on a Mercedes. So now on top of a huge interest rate, they're taking on a car that's expensive to keep on the road too.
So they may be picking the right car. Bank thinks they're picking the right car. They're putting a little bit of money down. They're putting $3,500 down.
That worked.
It's great. And we have an approval.
Yes.
So you've worked some magic today, Dree. I encourage everybody who has challenge credit and maybe a tax refund to call here and talk to Dree. She's getting it done. Proud of you. Congratulations to this customer.
Yes.
It's funny how they congratulate people for debt. Owing anyone money is nothing to celebrate. All it really means is now you owe somebody thousands of dollars, and they expect it back every single month with interest. Financially, you're worse off than you were before. So that's not an achievement. It's a financial obligation.
Hi, my name is Sierra, and I'm filing for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. I keep saying that. I already filed. I'm just waiting for my meeting of creditors, and my debts have not been discharged yet. I wanted to talk a little bit about why I chose to file and how I got to that decision. And I'm going to be so honest, it was TikTok, learning about bankruptcy from TikTok, from people who actually did it. To be fully transparent, I didn't know really anything about bankruptcy before stumbling across videos and being in a space where I was absolutely drowning and just trying to pay off debt, really struggling, not making it, not being able to do what I wanted to do.
Getting financial advice through TikTok can be risky because there's far more bad information than there is good. Anyone can post a video and sound confident about what they're saying, but that doesn't mean it's actually good information. Anything you hear online, from any platform or any person, including me, should be researched before making a big financial decision, because every situation is different.
And I was just kind of in the pits financially, and I needed something. I was begging the universe for a sign, some direction, anything. And then I stumbled across some videos on bankruptcy on TikTok. That's why I'm posting about this journey in the first place, because it not only inspired me, it helped me understand that bankruptcy is a tool more than anything, and that if the leaders of the world could do it over and over and over again, then I can do it. I can do it too. I can have a fresh start, and so can you. So can you.
This is one of the things I keep coming across in these videos. Other people do it, so it's no big deal. But other people's financial situations have nothing to do with yours. Just because it worked out for someone else doesn't mean it's going to work out the same way for you. You have no idea what their income is, what their debts look like, or what their situation actually is behind the scenes. Comparing your financial decisions to strangers on the internet usually isn't a good idea.
Quite lucky to live in California because the threshold is pretty high. And there are options. If you do make too much money, you could file for a Chapter 13. The difference between that is that with a Chapter 13, you have to pay some of that debt back. Not all of it, but they put you on a payment plan. Basically everything over that threshold that you could afford, you do have to pay that amount back to settle your credit. For a Chapter 7, all of your debts are discharged, so that's definitely the most desired one, and that's what I wanted to go for, just because, I'm not like a rich person. I am making decent money, but I have an exorbitant amount of bills. I have a modest car payment, racked up a lot of debt with my previous car.
One of the things I've noticed from these videos about bankruptcies is that nobody ever talks about what they did to try to pay off their debt. Nobody ever mentions working an extra job, selling belongings, or cutting back on their lifestyle. It's almost always just about starting over. Like everything that happened before is just skipped over, and the focus goes straight towards wiping the slate clean. That sounds great, but it doesn't always work out.
Let's go over the massive amount of debt I have after filing bankruptcy 6 years ago. It is a whopping $92,057. So let's talk about what this debt entails. I did a video about this like a week or two ago, but I'm going to go over it again. So sit down. So the cars, I have two of them. One is at $19,812. The other is at $21,082. So that brings it to a total of $40,894.
$40,000 of car debt after a bankruptcy. It shows even a fresh start can be extremely difficult. All that money that went towards debt is now freed up. Most haven't learned anything about how to deal with their finances, so they just keep doing the same thing. Of course, it starts small with good intentions of paying it back, but before long you're right back to making monthly payments again. Just this time it's new debt instead of the old debt.
Personal loans. Bunch of different loans. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it's 16. I also included, I have a phone payment in there that I have included. And then there's a couple furniture loans. I have a firm in there. It's $19,527 for all of those. Now, credit cards. This is big. Credit cards, it's between me and my husband. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 credit cards between the two of us. And the total amount of debt on those is $31,636.
It's a perfect example of what happens if you don't change your habits. Nothing changes. You spend the same way, you save the same way, which is likely nothing. You make the same financial decisions you were making before. And before long, you start adding more debt again. Because bankruptcy may clear the old debt, but it doesn't stop new debt from replacing it.
And they range from $119 all the way to $3,452. If you look at these, I have a lot of little amounts. So like my credit cards, here's a couple: 119, 245, 307, 514. Personal loans, 415, 102, 232, 432, 458, and then it gets bigger from there. But looking at it as a whole, it seems so overwhelming, and it is. But knowing that there's low amounts, so I feel like I can do the debt snowball pretty quick, it gives me hope.
Bankruptcy exists for a reason. Sometimes people truly do get into situations they can't get out of on their own. But it's supposed to be a last resort, not part of the plan. The real goal after something like that should be getting your finances back under control. And be careful about the kind of debt you take on going forward.
Just file that bankruptcy. You've tried credit repair, you've tried paying back debt, you've tried opening up. It's not helping. You're not getting approved for anything. No apartment, no car, definitely not a mortgage. You're not getting approved for anything. You need to consider filing Chapter 7 liquidation bankruptcy. It's a financial reset. It's a cheat code. Not a lot of people know about it. And if people do know about it, it has a bad name behind it. Bankruptcy is bad only if you file, and then after that, you let your credit go to poop again. But if you have the discipline now.
This is exactly the problem. The focus is on improving your credit score so you can get more credit. To file bankruptcy so you can take on more debt later, instead of focusing on staying out of debt in the first place. It turns the whole thing into a cycle of borrowing, instead of actually improving someone's finances.
Because you didn't have it before, but you have it now, and the acknowledgement, you'll be fine. After 3 months, you'll be able to get a new, or immediately you should be able to get a new car. After 3 months, your score will rise if you do it properly. If you get secured cards, you pay them on time, keep utilization, all that fun stuff. Once you do that, you're fine. Your credit will restore. Within 2 years, FHA, you can buy a house. VA loan, 2 years, you can buy a house again. It resets you. It's only bad if you file and then let it go bad again. That's come on, man. It's like getting a referral at school and you get another one the next day after you come back from suspension. Remember that? Okay, yeah.
Bankruptcy is a serious financial step, even if some people try to make it sound like it's no big deal. Yes, it's possible to rebuild your credit and eventually qualify for things like a car loan or even a mortgage. But that doesn't mean it should be taken so lightly. It's meant to be a last resort when someone truly has no other options, not just another step in the process of borrowing money again. If you want to see more, you know what to do. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.